everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well and you are enjoying this, quite frankly, bizarre weather. It is never this nice for this long, so I'm very suspicious about it. Last Friday I was having a little bit of a look ahead and plan and think about what kind of videos I would like to make in June. And I decided to make this month a little bit of a music college focused month. So each week I'm going to be putting out a different video just relating to a different aspect of the applying to music college process, what it's like once you get there, how to get a teacher, and then today is going to be just how to choose a music college in the first place. There are so many to choose from and they are very, very different in their approach to things and the cities that they're based in and all of that. So we're just gonna kind of go through a few pointers and a few things that I kind of either wish I'd thought about in the process of going off to music college or things that I'm really, really grateful that I did. I do also want to mention that a lot of the inspiration for these videos has come from friends of mine. I have messaged out to a few different people from various different colleges, various different backgrounds, and I wanted to get their opinion on where they went, why they went there, and what they wish they'd known. So thank you very, very much, guys, for contributing to this video. Also, if you're looking for a few more kind of vlog style videos about what music college is actually like while you're there, I highly, highly recommend checking out That Viola Kid is his handle on Instagram and YouTube, and he just has loads and loads of videos and really, really helpful down-to-earth advice. He's just an amazing guy. He went to Juilliard and his approach to the whole industry is one which I just think is very refreshing. Yeah, just really inspiring. So go check out his videos because, again, I have to admit that I took quite a bit of inspiration from those. So you've decided to apply for music college. First of all, a massive congratulations. It takes a ridiculous amount of work just to get to this point, so you should absolutely be proud of yourself for that achievement. But now, what do you need to know? The prospectuses have come through your door and it's all a little bit overwhelming. So we're just going to go through a few little steps that I think are just really helpful when you're considering where you're going to study. When at all possible, spend some time in the city that you're thinking of studying in. This city will be your home for at least 3 to 4 years, potentially longer, as a lot of musicians tend to kind of stick around in the city that they studied in because you build up contacts as you go through your course, and upping and leaving all of those behind isn't always the best idea. So spend some time in the city. Do you feel safe there? Do they have good coffee shops? What is the transport system like? All of these things are going to make a huge impact on your overall quality of life whilst you're studying. A big reason that I chose to study in Cardiff was because I just loved the city. I'd visited it a couple of times and I just really, really enjoyed the city, and I still do. I'm still here, so it can't have been all bad. Just make sure that you really feel at home and comfortable in the city that you're potentially going to be living in for quite some years. Speak to people who have graduated from the college that you're thinking of attending. People who are currently at that college can be quite biased, both for good and for bad, as to their experience, depending on the day they've had so far. So a really good way to kind of actually get a more measured approach or a measured opinion on what the college was like is to talk to people who have graduated, I'd say, within the last 10 years. Music colleges can change wildly from year to year, really, depending on the staff, the teachers, just the students themselves that are there. So make sure that it hasn't been too long since they graduated. But equally, like I said, somebody who's in their second year and about to do their major recital at the end of the year is probably not going to have the best, most reasonable opinion on that particular college. Obviously, visit the colleges themselves, go to the open days, get the prospectuses, and find out what modules they do alongside your principal instrument. Obviously, you are there primarily to play and to study that particular instrument, but what else can you do alongside? Do they have really, really good chamber coaching? Are there lots of outreach opportunities if you want to go into more of the teaching side of things? What do they actually do alongside all those hours of practicing? Because when you leave college, you want to be in the best possible place to go into your chosen career. Find out how many practice rooms they have. This will actually be a much bigger deal than you think it might be initially. If you're a string player, it might be a little bit easier to practice from your room at home because you can have a practice mute and the sound doesn't travel through walls quite so easily. But if you are a brass player or a singer, you have to be considerate of your neighbours. There are laws about these things for a good reason. And if the college that you're going to doesn't actually have enough practice rooms for the number of students, bear in mind that you may spend a lot of time waiting around in corridors trying to snag a free one. Find out what the entry requirements are for each college and seriously consider applying to the ones that have the same pieces. So lots of colleges will ask for a specific piece at the audition stage. And if you can give yourself slightly less work to do and apply the same piece for multiple colleges, you will save yourself so much stress, and you'll also perform those pieces much better because you can devote more time to them. So that is definitely something that is really worthwhile considering. Now, I do want to mention at this point, don't be put off going for higher education because of the cost. The sheer size of the number at the end of your studies can be really, really overwhelming. But student finance is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and you don't have to start paying it back until you're earning over 26 grand a year, which is a fair amount of money. And even when you do start paying it back, it's a really small amount every month. And as long as you're managing your money effectively, and I have a video on that, which I will link up here, this is really manageable. So please don't be put off by the cost. There is help available to you. However, obviously money is something to consider, particularly if you're doing a master's or a postgrad where you will have to front more of the cost yourself. The main consideration when it comes to the money is how much does it cost to live in a particular city. That will actually have a much bigger impact on you overall than the cost of the course. So make sure you find out how much is the average rent and how much do students, again on average, pay for travel costs. This will all add up and is the thing that will make the biggest impact on you financially during your studies. What's important to you in the course of your studies? Is it solo, chamber, orchestral, teaching? Fill in the blank. If you're aspiring to be an orchestral musician, for example, a course that focuses solely on solo playing probably isn't going to serve you as well as one that has a lot of integration of orchestral excerpts, placements, orchestral etiquette, all that kind of thing. So this kind of ties into the doing your research bit, but make sure that you really establish what your main focus is going to be and then look at the colleges that are going to cater to that. This also applies to how many people are in each year. For example, a violinist at one of the colleges where they take in a lot of students each year may find that they're not really in a lot of orchestral projects. Whereas if you go to one of the slightly smaller colleges, then good string players are always in demand and you will find you get much more orchestral playing experience than you would at one of the larger colleges. If you're applying for a postgrad, then take scholarships really seriously. The most important thing in your overall musical journey is how much time you can devote to practicing. And if that scholarship means that you don't have to take an extra shift at work, those few hours of practice every week are really going to add up over the course of a year. Look at the schemes that are available and what does it take to qualify for them. Some colleges have placements available with specific orchestras, so what do you get if you win one of these spots? Do you get to sit in on rehearsals and just watch, or are you actually sat in the orchestra and playing? If a spot comes up for a concert, are you going to be considered to fill that place, or are they going to get a professional freelancer in? Ask these questions because they will have a huge impact on the opportunities available to you through that particular scheme. For example, a college may have an orchestral scheme with a really, really well-known famous orchestra, but the only thing you do through that is to sit in on their rehearsals, which are very useful. But other colleges may have schemes with slightly lesser well-known orchestras, but you're actually sat in the rehearsals. You are witnessing what a professional orchestra is like, and that kind of experience is absolutely invaluable. This is probably the one that is the hardest to have a really clear-cut opinion on. Because for some people, the reputation of where they study is everything. It's the most important thing. And for some people, they literally couldn't care less. I kind of fall halfway between the two. When you leave college, people may well ask you where you studied, and in that moment make a bit of a snap judgment of you depending on their opinion of that particular institution. However, how well you play far and above outweighs where you studied. Nobody cares if you studied at the best music college in the world if you can't play in tune and you can't play in time. They won't care ultimately. Do they have a reputation for really nurturing their students and looking after them, or do they really encourage the competitive side of music college? Music college is intense in its very nature and its very setup, so make sure that you're going to be well looked after throughout your studies. Also, be observant of the atmosphere of the college when you go and visit it. Do the students seem to be enjoying themselves, or are they curled up in a ball in the corner sobbing over a Paganini caprice? But on a serious note, where you study can make or break whether you feel like the music industry is something that you want to go into once you graduate. I know incredible players, incredible musicians who loved what they did and slightly had that kind of beaten out of them throughout their music college experience. So do take this decision really seriously. And also remember that at the end of the day, you're the one that has to go there. You're the one that has to be in that environment, not your parents, not your teacher, not that snobby little so-and-so in youth orchestra who thinks that is the only place worth applying to. They're not you. They do not have to live your life. They do not have to study where you're going to go. So trust your gut. Take everybody's opinions on board, but at the end of the day, this is your decision. You're the one that actually has to study there, and you need to choose the place that is best for you. I hope that's been really helpful, and next week I'm going to be talking about how to actually get into music college once you've decided where you want to go. So if that is something that you would be interested in hearing more about, please do subscribe to my channel and like this video. It really makes a huge difference with getting this information out there. I feel quite passionately that there isn't enough information about this kind of thing out in the world. So yeah, please do like this video, share it wherever you like. I do not mind. I will see you guys next week. Bye. So for example, if a college is asking for a particular piece to be played, a particular piece. There we go, we knew it was going to happen eventually. So kisses. Oh man. Until you're owning, are you going to be hoping to be going to the